Happy New Year's Eve, everyone, and welcome to the last deep dive of 2024.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little something special for this New Year's Eve edition.
Yeah, looking forward to.
We're going to look back at some of the big global events that happened that sort of shaped the end of the year, and we'll be covering everything from international conflicts to
I too.
a pretty remarkable milestone for humanity.
Right.
So grab your celebratory drink
Yeah.
and get ready for one last deep dive before we ring in the new year.
Absolutely looking forward to unpacking these stories with you.
Yeah.
It's been a year of highs and lows.
Yeah.
And today's selection, I think, really reflects that global tapestry.
Absolutely. So let's kick things off in Syria,
Okay.
where France conducted airstrikes against ISIS targets, hot on the heels of a similar U.S. operation.
Right.
So what makes this interesting is the EU's intention to engage with Hayat Tahrir al-Sham, or HTS.
Right.
Now, for those who might not be familiar, HTS is another extremist group that's operating in the region.
Right.
So the EU is trying to play a bit of a strategic game here.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, considering HTS and ISIS have historically been rivals, right?
Yeah.
The EU's plan is to kind of collaborate with HTS to prevent ISIS from regaining a foothold.
Right.
Which is a risky strategy considering HTS's own extremist ideology, but it underscores the complexity of the situation in Syria.
Yeah.
It's like trying to put out a fire by using another smaller fire.
Exactly. And it adds another layer to this whole fight against ISIS, especially because the U.S. already hit 75 of their camps this year.
Right.
So it really paints a picture of just how persistent this conflict is.
Absolutely. And speaking of persistent conflicts,
Yes.
we have Israel issuing a very strong warning to Yemen's Houthi rebels.
Right.
They basically said, cease your missile attacks or face consequences similar to those experienced by Hamas, Hezbollah, and Syrian President Bashar al-Assad.
That sounds like a serious ultimatum.
It is.
What's the historical context here? Why single out those groups?
Israel has a long and complex history of conflict with each of these groups, marked by, periods of intense violence and uneasy truces.
Right.
Hamas controls the Gaza Strip and has engaged in numerous armed conflicts with Israel.
Yeah.
Hezbollah, based in Lebanon, is another powerful militant group that poses a threat to Israel's northern border.
Right.
And Bashar al-Assad's regime in Syria has been a source of instability and conflict in the region for decades.
Yeah.
So by invoking these examples, Israel is sending a very clear message about its military capabilities and its willingness to use force to protect its interests.
And that message was delivered loud and clear because just hours after issuing that warning,
I know,
Israel actually intercepted a Houthi missile.
Unbelievable.
That was like a scene from a movie.
It is.
It's like this dramatic turn of events.
The timing certainly underscores Israel's point.
Yeah.
And this incident, I think, really highlights the volatile nature of the Middle East and the constant threat of conflict that hangs over the region.
Right.
You have multiple actors with competing interests, each willing to use force to achieve their goals.
While tensions are flaring in parts of the world, we turn our attention to a tragedy that reminds us of life's fragility.
Yeah.
The plane crash in South Korea.
Right.
Learning about the victims is truly heartbreaking.
It is.
You have newlyweds returning from their honeymoon, a cancer survivor.
Wow.
Finally taking that long-awaited trip abroad.
It's a stark reminder that life can change in an instant.
Yeah.
And these tragedies have a ripple effect, impacting families, communities, and even entire nations.
Yeah.
And while investigations will work to determine the cause and hopefully prevent future incidents, the human toll is always the most difficult to process.
Absolutely. But amid the devastation, there's also a story of survival.
There is.
2 crew members made it because they were seated at the very back of the plane. Yeah, and this actually aligns with a 2015 analysis by Time magazine that found that the middle seats in the rear of an aircraft have historically had the highest survival rates in crashes.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
You can see that.
So many factors obviously come into play during an incident like this.
Of course.
But it's fascinating insight into how seemingly small details can sometimes make all the difference.
Right.
It really makes you think about those tiny, seemingly insignificant decisions we make every day.
Yeah.
It's a sobering thought.
Yeah.
Especially as we approach a new year.
Absolutely.
From plane crashes to population milestones, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
But speaking of which, let's shift our focus to something a bit more global in scale.
Yeah.
The U.S. Census Bureau is projecting the world population to hit a staggering 8.09 billion people.
Wow.
On New Year's Day, 2025.
8 billion. That's incredible.
I know, it's a mind-boggling number.
It is.
And it's driven by a complex interplay of factors, including birth rates, death rates, and global migration patterns.
Of course.
What's interesting is that while the world population continues to grow, growth rates vary greatly across different regions and countries.
Right.
The U.S., for example, is projected to reach a population of 341 million on New Year's Day.
Okay.
A significant number, but a much smaller increase compared to the overall global figure.
Yeah, much smaller.
Right. The U.S. has a lower birth rate than many other nations. In fact, it's estimated that during January 2025, there will be one birth every 9 seconds in the U.S.
Wow.
Globally, there'll be 4.2 births and 2 deaths happening every single second.
That's amazing.
I know these statistics offer a glimpse into the ever-evolving story of humanity.
They certainly do, and they prompt us to consider some critical questions about the future.
Right.
How will we effectively manage resources, ensure sustainability, and address both the challenges and opportunities that come with a continually growing global population?
It's a lot to ponder as we raise a toast to the new year.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
A lot to think about, for sure.
But before we get too lost in thought, I wanted to circle back to the South Korea plane crash for a moment.
Okay.
We talked about the remarkable survival of those 2 crew members in the rear of the plane.
Right.
And it got me thinking about the overall safety features of modern aircraft.
Right.
Are there any other design elements that contribute to passenger safety in such dire situations?
That's a great question, and it's a complex one to answer.
Right.
Aircraft safety is a multifaceted issue.
Yeah.
It involves a convergence of design engineering and regulatory protocols.
Right.
While seating position can play a role in survivability, as we saw in this tragic incident.
Right.
There are countless other factors that contribute to passenger safety. Things like the structural integrity of the aircraft itself, the effectiveness of its safety systems, and the training and expertise of the flight crew.
Right.
Those are all critical elements.
So it's not just about where you sit.
Right.
It's about the entire ecosystem of safety measures working in concert to protect passengers.
Precisely. And it's a testament to the ongoing advancements in aviation technology and safety regulations that such incidents are thankfully relatively rare. But when they do occur, they serve as stark reminders of the importance of continuous improvement and vigilance in ensuring passenger safety.
It's a good reminder for us all.
Yeah.
Especially as we head into a new year filled with new adventures and travel plans.
For sure.
Speaking of new beginnings,
Okay.
let's shift our focus back to the global population milestone.
Right.
8 billion people is a mind-boggling figure.
It is.
What are some of the implications of this continued growth?
Well, the implications are vast and multifaceted, impacting everything from resource management and environmental sustainability to social and economic development. On the one hand, a growing population can mean a larger workforce, increased innovation, and a more vibrant global economy.
Right.
On the other hand, it also poses challenges in terms of providing adequate food, water, energy, and healthcare to everyone.
Of course.
So striking a balance between promoting economic growth and ensuring the well-being of all citizens is a delicate act that will require thoughtful planning and global cooperation.
It sounds like this population milestone is not just a number, but a catalyst for some really important conversations about how we shape the future.
Absolutely. It forces us to confront some fundamental questions about how we want to live, how we manage our resources, and how we ensure a sustainable future for generations to come.
It's a powerful reminder that we're all interconnected, and our actions, no matter how small, have ripple effects across the globe.
Absolutely.
And on that note of global interconnectedness and shared responsibility, I think it's time for us to wrap up this final deep dive of 2024.
Okay.
It's been an incredible journey.
It has.
Exploring these complex and fascinating topics with you.
I couldn't agree more. It's always a pleasure to delve into these issues and share insights with such an engaged audience.
Before we sign off for the year,
we
want to extend our heartfelt wishes for a happy new year to all our listeners.
Absolutely. Happy New Year, everyone.
May the coming year be filled with joy discovery and, of course, more fascinating deep dives into the world around us.
And as we raise a glass to the new year,
Yes.
we leave you with this thought.
Yeah.
Of all the stories we've discussed today,
Mm-hmm.
which one do you think will have the most significant impact on 2025? And what gives you hope for the year ahead?
Yeah, it's amazing to think that as we sit here reflecting on these stories,
Right.
somewhere in the world, a baby is being born.
Wow.
Marking another addition to our 8 billion strong human family.
It really is a profound thought, isn't it? Each individual life, a thread in this vast and intricate tapestry of humanity.
It's true. And as we step into a new year, those threads continue to intertwine.
Right.
Creating new patterns, new connections, new possibilities.
Absolutely. And, those possibilities are what make this new year so exciting.
Yeah, I agree.
It's a chance to learn to grow, to maybe even change the course of those threads for the better.
Totally. Well, we've explored some challenging realities today.
Yeah.
Conflicts, tragedies.
Right.
The daunting realities of a growing population.
Yeah.
There's also immense hope.
There is.
In the resilience of the human spirit.
For sure.
In our capacity for innovation and collaboration.
Absolutely.
We see it in the efforts to combat extremism, in the advancements in aviation safety, in the ongoing dialogue surrounding sustainability.
Right.
These challenges, while complex, also fuel our drive to create a better future.
I agree. It's a reminder that even amidst these global events that might seem overwhelming, every individual has the power to make a difference.
That's true, whether it's through small acts of kindness, conscious choices in our daily lives, or engaging in meaningful conversations about the world around us, we each contribute to shaping the narrative of humanity.
Beautifully said. And as we bid farewell to 2024 and embrace the possibilities of 2025, let's carry that sense of individual agency and collective responsibility with us.
Totally.
Let's be the change you wish to see in the world. One thread, one connection, one conversation at a time.
Cheers to that and to all our listeners.
Cheers.
Thank you for joining us on this incredible journey of exploration and discovery throughout 2024.
It's been great.
We're so grateful for your curiosity, your engagement, and your unwavering support.
Absolutely.
We wish you all a joyous, fulfilling, and deeply insightful new year.
Happy New Year, everyone.